Yo, what's good, everybody? This is Brandon here with another episode of Let's Build. This is episode 9, actually. Got another special guest with me.
It's your man Ellis Harris here, Mr. Soleil. Thanks for having me, King. Man, I appreciate that.
So that's how you pronounce it?
Yeah, Soleil.
I promise you, I never knew how to pronounce it. I was calling it silly this whole time.
Nah, see, well, some people say silly. Some people say Sil. I pronounce it Soleil. So, like,
okay.
You know what I'm saying? You
For
know,
people who do not know, what is Soleil?
Soleil, it came from a couple different places. Soleil, through my research, Soleil was this woman in Turkey about maybe in the 1800s at some point. This woman in Turkey, and she was an artist. I'm unsure at this point as to what her artistry was in, whether it was singing or like, you know, poetry. Well, back then it would have to have been poetry or, you know, artistry. She received word that she was going to be assassinated. So she had to like leave where she normally performs her art at, you know. So let's say if you performed at MoMA and somebody told you that you were going to be assassinated at MoMA, so she, you know, got dropped on that. Because of how she felt about her brand so much, she actually went and still did exactly what she planned on doing, and she was assassinated while performing her art. And that's what I feel, yeah, like that type of devotion, like that's what I feel is like, that's the type of devotion that I have. When she made that commitment to be like, no, I'm gonna die for this. You know what I'm saying? It's mine. It's like who you are, like, especially if you surround your entire life with it. You know what I'm saying? So like, yeah, it was that, and it's my middle name backwards, so.
Oh shit! Wait,
this is my middle name.
That's
backwards.
good. Where did you hear this story from? Like, did somebody tell you?
Nah, I researched it. So
randomly researched.
Yeah. So basically, what happened was, I was working a job, and then, you know, going through what we all go through with jobs. You know, being there, feeling like I'm more than this. You know, $12 an hour. You know what I'm saying? It's not really, you know, and really just trying to continuously come up with the idea of who you are.
Right.
You know, trying to figure out, is there anything that I would do for the rest of my life? Something that, you know, somebody told me, something that you don't mind not being paid for. I remember when it happened, basically, I went to, like, I ran to the store, like, Wawa, I mean, like, in the morning. Like I said, still going through what I'm going through with jobs, you know, like, I was living in my parents' house, you know, at the time. So, what happened was, I went to the Wawa, and I'm just still, you know, racking my brain on the situation. But when I went to the Wawa, it like hit me like a ton of bricks. I looked down and I had like fresh sneakers on and new jeans. Okay. And it hit me. And then I literally felt it hit me. Like, okay, so this is what you should be doing, because ain't nobody around here. What you get fly to go to Wawa for? But that's when it hit me. Okay, so this is for me. This is something that I personally like to do. Right. Beyond trying to flex for anybody. Like, a lot of stuff is really just for me. You know what I'm saying? So, that's what really started to generate the idea of, why don't you just be a fashion designer? Why don't you get into fashion or stylist or whatever, you know, find your niche in, you know? Right. So that's what that's when it hit me, and, you know, it more so moved forward like that.
I was like watching, I noticed that even when before you even put out, you know, pieces and things like that, you was just always hashtagging styled by Soleil on different pictures, nothing with the brand, just it'd be like clothes or so. Were you putting like outfits together for people, like organizing photo shoots? I just seen you doing different things, but it was saying styled by Soleil.
I understand. But look, okay, so basically how I started was like me hashtagging Soleil was more so to get the name out there. I want to, you know, almost spam with, you know, just getting it out there. Because eventually people, just like you said, it's like, you know, some people say it this way, some people say it that way. Eventually people are going to want to ask me, how do you pronounce it? What does it mean? You know? So getting it out there, how it started, I started off styling. Originally, when I first got the idea, I just kind of got on a pen and pad, and at this point, I didn't know how to draw. But got on a pen and pad and basically and it really worked. Like, the things that I was drawing, these ideas that came to my head is ideas of things that I've never seen before. It really started to come along, you know. So what happened with that was I started to kind of like, you know, reach out to certain people, put the energy out there. And when I put the energy out there, it came back to me. So I started off styling and setting up outfits for people. So a couple of people hit me up to do photo shoots for them. So at the time there was this thing called, what was it called? It was called Poly something.
Polyester?
No, it was an app. Basically, you could style. Polyvore, right. So you could basically style on the app. So I was just spending a lot of time on there, like mixing and matching a whole bunch of different like outfits. You know, just as a start off, like, you know, certain people were like hitting me up, and I would like go style like a little like video shoot that somebody is doing, or you know what I'm saying. And a friend of mine hit me up and told me like, hey, listen, there's an opening for a stylist for this FUBU Puma shoot. You know, so FUBU Puma shoot. I guess they were doing another collaboration.
Right.
And you know, so I just put everything together that I possibly could. Met up with a couple of people, like styled them, bought pieces. You know, spent like my own money and like put it together. Got the content together, sent it over to FUBU Puma. Or at the time it was just FUBU. Went there for the interview, and that's, you know, basically like where it started. Like I did a couple of like styling shoots before that,
right?
But that's where it started. The fact that they thought that my ideas were good, and being around the people that I was around, and just getting the information that I was getting.
You soaked up a lot from them.
I soaked up a lot from them. Yeah.
Did you gain like connections from them, like moving forward?
Absolutely. That's why I'm still doing it. You know, just like I said, just being in that energy. It was a hustle. It wasn't like an easy shoot. You know, it was a hustle. I had to get out there, and you know, at that point, at that time, I wasn't going to New York a lot. So I'm in New York with like a bubble on, with like a bait hoodie open. You know, it's freezing in February, and what stuck with me is with Keith from FUBU. That's what he told me was, once you make your mind up, you're the only person that can change it. That's true. Once I made my mind up on what I wanted to be and what I wanted to do, I stayed focused. I'm going through it, and I ended up meeting like one of the pioneers for fashion, Emory Jones. I ended up meeting him out there.
Okay, yeah, I know that.
And I had no problem with walking straight up to him and, you know, introducing myself and letting him know who I was.
Do you have like an elevator pitch when you go talk to people? Or do you just go ahead and freestyle? Like,
I freestyle. I really do. I really just kind of get out there and say what I feel, man. Like, I can see why it would be fearful to somebody. I can see why somebody would, you know, want to develop a pitch. But like, for me, it's being polite, showing value, you know, being real, and getting your point across quick, you know. So I don't really need a pitch. I really just walked up to him like, hey, excuse me, you Emory Jones, right? And I told him my name, told him what I'm doing. At that point, I had no content. You know what I'm saying?
So he was just giving you just telling what you would like to do, and he was just giving you advice on how to do it?
Right. Okay. And when the information that he gave me moving forward, it just gave me so much motivation to just, I'm not going to stop. You know, like that's why the name of the brand was so prevalent to me. You know, just...
I'm just confused on how you randomly search Soleil. Like,
so, like I said, I was at the job feeling like I shouldn't have been there. And I had I swear to God, I had a piece of paper. I'm really going through the ideas, and I just wrote my middle name backwards.
Oh, okay.
But the way that I wrote it was similar to this. Like the first time I wrote it,
right?
You know what I'm saying, real quick. And then when I looked at it, like I said, again, it hit me again. Like, oh, you know what I'm saying. So then I Googled it because I'm like, well, let me see if it has another name to it. Looked it up. Yeah, in the 1800s. Yeah, there's actually a city in Turkey too called Soleil. But there was a woman. I really got to go there.
Yeah, you have
and another thing about Soleil that I like, the city in itself in Turkey, was that the city is known for its, basically its camaraderie with religions. Okay. So it'll be mosque, churches, synagogues, all on the same, you know, platform, and those people can congregate together.
Are you religious?
Yes, I'm a Christian. Yeah.
Are you heavily in your faith?
I would say so. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So like when it comes to fashion, at what point were you really into like, I'm gonna put my pieces together, I'm really about to start just getting fresh from this day on, like, or was it something like your parents did as a kid, like, yo, he always been fresh as a kid? You know how you got them parents that always make sure their kid like got top of the line stuff?
Yeah.
Like, do you have parents like that, or it just came to you later on in life as you got older?
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I do. I'm gonna be honest with you. Okay. Like when I was a kid, my sister's friends, my sister's 7 years older than my sister's friends would call me Young Richie Rich, because how, you know, you got like your basement, downstairs, upstairs. I had a game system on every floor. You know what I'm saying? And back then it was natural to me, but so basically how I started was back when I was younger, I was a little chubby, and not saying that anything's wrong with being chubby.
I was chubby too.
Right. So like the problem with it was that I was greedy and arrogant with my chubby. Like I would, you know, at lunch I would eat my lunch and I would ask people for theirs and not see nothing wrong with it. You know what I'm saying?
I wasn't doing that.
That's what I'm saying. But like, because you got to think from home. When I'm home, don't nobody tell me no. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So and I would be like, let me have that, and people would say, and I would ask the next person, ask the next person, which I think would contribute to some of the reason why I'm like, you know, I don't have like a will to give up, because I would continue to do that, and I didn't see a problem with it at the time.
Did
so
anybody
like,
give you their lunch?
Yeah, a lot. Yeah. Now I don't know, funny, because I wasn't hitting them with the let me get the. No, I was really like being greedy. Like I wasn't trying to be like
I feel you.
hard. You know what I'm saying? So basically, I was getting teased early on. You know, and didn't understand why. So I would come home and like kind of like cry to my mom at the time. I was younger. Cry to my mom at the time, and then my mom, she's a queen, man. My mom is so motivating, it's ridiculous. But she's motivating in a real aggressive way. She's from Philly. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So,
she's from Philly.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Mom's was like, can I curse?
You can do it.
Mom was just like, man, fuck that, you cute, you know what I'm saying? Don't listen to them, you ain't gotta worry about them. And you know what I'm saying? So then she started to give my sister money to shop for me. So I'm maybe 7, 8 years old. Mm-hmm. My sister's 15, 7 years older than me. So she was just making me dress just like all of the guys that she liked, or all of the guys that she was watching on TV. So I started to get heavily influenced by that. So
your sister played a big role in this.
My sister and my mother played a huge role. My mother's to this day fly. To this day, my mother got shoes. I got a house. I got a room in my mom's house. She got shoes all through my room.
She got a shoe room?
Yeah, but it's my room. No lie. The stairs up. She got sneakers lined up the stairs, like a sneakerhead. But my mom, she got
shoes. Though.
She got like for her, sneakers, shoes. It could be anything, right? But her telling me who I was, less of her buying it, but telling me, you're fly, you're this, you're that, you're going to be this, you're that. And then my sister just shopping for me, buying me Jabot jeans. I was dressing grown when I was a kid.
My mother's the same way. Like when I was younger, I never really got bullied. Like people used to make jokes, but I was one of the people like to joke back. So I always just talk back I always like talk shit to people when they speak to me. So I used to always do things like that. So she was always like, yo, don't even trip. Like, don't worry about what people say about you. Like, don't go back and forth. Don't be in school doing nonsense. Right. You're a king. Blah, blah.
I was definitely still doing nonsense.
So, but my mother's the reason why I have like the hustle I have now. Why I be trying to do different things to progress my life and progress like the family name and add generational wealth, which I actually do want to get into. Like, how do you feel about the black business and the black community, or black business in general? How you feel about that?
I love the way that it's going. I love where it's going. I love the influence that it's going and giving. I feel like a lot of people are starting to realize, at some point in your life, you're going to want to own something.
That's true.
Because I didn't have a rich uncle to give me anything. Do you have a rich uncle?
I don't have a rich anything.
Right. So at 18, 25, and 20 or 30, you would have needed or wanted $100,000 at every point, right? So it's like, I look at myself as that uncle. I want to give that to the next generation because we've already gotten into our 20s. So for real, the longevity of wealth, we wasn't given it, so we have to earn it. Right. So what I love about it, what makes me want to get into generational wealth is creating opportunity for my family. I was asking my family earlier on, do we know anybody who's rich or famous, or I have a couple of like famous people in my family, but like as far as rich and was able to give something back, none. Do we know anybody that live in LA? None. So I looked at me like, why can't I be that person?
And I actually had the same conversation with my cousin probably like 2 weeks ago on my mother's birthday. Like everybody was asleep. It was probably like 12 in the morning. We was like, it was me and two of my male cousins I grew up with. We was having a real conversation about where we are in our life and who we are. And I was looking at their situations and how they struggling to do certain things and how I'm struggling my own way. And but I always feel like I was that person to put the family in a better situation, a better platform. So like I always strive to do things like if I have say one day this platform I'm on right now, this podcast gets big. I would hire a family member or a close friend
Right.
before I go outside
Absolutely.
of my circle.
Right.
So now that's me starting to build the generational wealth. Or even if I'm getting into real estate or trying to do certain things, I'm partnering up with a close friend or a close family member before I go out my circle.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I feel like that's what people have to do. Is a lot of people don't do that because they feel like they can't trust their inner circle. And if that's the case, you can't. You
I feel like I honestly feel like less of that and more of like people just don't know. People don't know how to create it. People don't know how to hang on to it. All we know from where we from is, you know, we want the shiny things.
Right.
You know, it's got to be the shiny things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, rather than putting money away and actually have it instead of looking like you have, we want to look like we have.
That's
you know,
right.
so then that takes away from wanting to create for your children and give something back. I had a friend in South Jersey. I'm from South Jersey, in Woodbury, New Jersey, and his like great uncle, he didn't know him. Great uncle left him like maybe like it was a bond, like 2 bonds. Pardon. It was 2 bonds and accumulated. However many years, it came out to like maybe 125,000 or something like that.
Okay.
So I don't know. I forget what the initial investment was, but he didn't know him. But he started a business. He left it to him. He didn't know him. But that's the thing, that his uncle had that much money, whereas though it went to like the next of kin, the next of kin, the next of kin.
Yeah,
right?
that's how it should be too.
Yeah, but I just remember his reaction. You know, he's a white guy, but I remember his reaction and his will to, damn, I didn't even know that guy. Like, why would he trust me with this? And he took that personal and he moved forward with it. And I seen that reaction. And that's common from where he's from. But from where I'm from, it's not really common. Just not knowing. And that's really all it is. You know, I feel like if we knew, I think people would take it a little bit more personal about living below your means and maximizing your potential for the future.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And I, like, just saying that, what you just said, living within your means, like, I grew up with, like, but I grew up in a single parent home.
Okay.
So my mother always told me, yo, just save your money. Like, you know, even if you gotta just stay in the house for a couple of months, you gotta get right. Just save your money, and then do something with it, or just save it for the rainy day. So I feel like now, in the generational space that we're in, and all the knowledge we have got from, you know, older people, whether they be on TV or just older heads hearing their mistakes and what they would do differently, we are now take that money for a rainy day and probably put it into something.
Yep.
Versus, you know, just having to save and we just continuing to like the cycle. Like, we just got money saved. It's not doing nothing for us. We don't own nothing.
Right.
We still renting.
Right.
So I feel like, you know, this is the time where I feel like this is the era where black wealth will grow more.
Absolutely.
Because of the knowledge that we have now.
It's the I think that's, you hit the nail right on the head. It's the time now to do it because we see that it's important to circulate black dollars around black businesses. You know, just to keep them moving, to keep them pushing. You know, on a day-to-day, we spend our money a lot of different places.
That's true.
And I'm not saying that it's anything wrong with that, but when are we going to create for ourselves?
Right.
When are we going to feel a drive when you can give something to your kids that you never had? Like, I made a promise to my mother. As soon as I have a kid, I don't have any kids yet, but as soon as I have a kid, I'm gonna put as much as I can, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 on a bond, just for their life. Just act like it never even existed, just to give them a different start. You know, because if somebody would have said, small letter, hey, here's $10,000 when you turn 21, and do whatever makes you feel pure and free, I would have took that so personal that I would have not stopped. I would have kept. You know, just because, like I said, I seen the energy. I seen what it did to somebody. And it's like, I feel the same as far as us and moving forward. Create it now and be able to give it later, right? Because, like I said, we're already in this life. And to be honest with you, I think that it really comes down to what you want to in life, right? So, like, not a lot of people want to be great. Not a lot of people want to be rich. Not a lot of people want to test those limits and stuff.
Right.
And that's cool.
People play it safe.
A lot of people play it safe.
Right.
And that's cool.
So what are your thoughts on people who, you know, take that leap of faith, go for their dreams, and really, you know, they just quit everything, just go head first. Some people gradually get into it. How do you feel about, you know, going for your dreams before anything?
I think that that's rule number one. I feel like trying to find that freedom of making money now, however much money you make, but doing it with something that makes you feel free. I feel like that's a feeling that a lot of us don't even really know what it feels like.
That's true.
Like whether it be on a weekly basis or you invest in it, you getting it back in. I feel like doing something that makes you feel like you can't sleep because you just love what you do is a foreign feeling for us.
Right.
So I feel like it's super, super important for you to try to find wealth and try to find and tapping into your dream is one thing, but trying to be consistent on that dream, trying to continue to fuel it. You know, I was a huge Jay-Z fan coming up. Right. Like I said, my sister's 7 years older than me, so like
yeah, I'm a Jay-Z fan. Yeah.
Huge Jay-Z fan. So everything that Jay-Z did from the beginning, back from when him, Biggs, and Dame used to be in the hood to Coachella. That just happened, right? So everything in between, and I've been following it, and his story is so like, it's like big on perseverance and being sure of yourself. You know,
he was very confident.
Very confident.
He knew who he was.
Right, and I feel like that's exactly how you should feel. Having this idea of who you are, it's almost like if you pray for something. It's almost like if you telling a quarterback what the play is, and he just bombed it. He said, "Go get it." I don't know where it's gonna land, but go get it. I already threw it. That's how I look at it. Like it's when you make the decision and you stick into it, and you're sure of yourself, you just gotta go find it in the air as you move forward, because it's already been delivered. That's how I feel personally. So having that confidence and that will to win, and just saying like, no, I'm not gonna stop. You know, just because somebody said no.
You know who you are. You know what you can do. Just like when you walked in here, the J. Cole song is playing. He said, "Hungry don't last till you look in the mirror and you saw who he was." Like I took that as like if you know exactly who you are, you can really do anything. Like, when people say you do anything you put your mind to, that's a fact. You really can. Like I know when I look at myself, there's a lot I can do, and I turned the corner this year with a lot of different things I'm trying to do. So I feel like
you have been. I wanted to congratulate you on doing your thing, bro, for real.
But I think we're moving off topic. Let's get back. Let's get back to Soleil for a while. Right. So what's your mindset when you create your clothing? Like, you know, what's your mindset? Like, how you go in your room, you just like, I gotta make a new piece. I gotta make a new, you know, I put something out. How do you come to a thought to making something?
Usually, like when it starts, well, when I create anything, I really want to tell a story when I create. I really want to give off energy to tell a story. And to be honest with you, it's extremely hard for you to tell a story with one page. You can get the synopsis of it, but you're not really going to understand who that person really is. So for me, everything that I design is like a chapter of my book, this book of my life that I'm writing. So with every chapter, it's important for me to tell a story, and I really want to connect to as many people as possible. So right now I'm actually working on an entire collection, my resort collection, where I'm literally going to have different pieces for different type of people. Some gaudy, some simple, you know.
Step in the gaudy? Yeah.
Well, more so because I want to...
You want to be diverse. You want your brand to be diverse. You don't want people to be offended by just... Or say, he's just geared towards African Americans, I can't wear it, or he's only geared towards certain...
Yeah, see, that's another thing. Being geared to where you feel like your money can be spent rather than wanting to create like a community around your business. So not only am I doing various pieces in different styles, I'm also doing men, women, and children. I might do a bag too, like maybe a tote or like something like that. 50% of that is already done, maybe a little bit more than 50% is already done. But I just want to tell a story and bring the people in about... I found out a long time ago that 4 out of 5 people, to every 4 out of 5 people, fashion means something to them. You know, these people you see on a normal day-to-day, like, he's not fly. But that's not the point. The point is that whatever he's wearing means something to him. Okay. So we should appreciate it. Because when you walk around with your confidence, he's walking around with his confidence.
Yeah, it's nothing like putting on a new fit. That confidence
goes through
the roof.
Right. Yeah. Now, how many times you've been in the mall and you've seen the bull with the leather trench coat on with the high Matrix boots?
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
And you judged, right? But where he's from, that is beautiful to him. That's dope. They love that. So like, I want to build a community off of appreciation, love, and value,
I like that.
and the will to keep pushing forward. Because like I said, the name is derived from somebody who literally was cool with dying in their craft and making that commitment. That's what I'm saying. Like making that commitment, bro. Like that's the. Somebody can ask you right now, bro, would you stand in front of a bullet for your mother? Absolutely. Would you do certain for your girl? Absolutely, right? But when it talks about who you want to be in life, you know, we don't really tap into that. I feel like we tap into more of money than who you actually want to be. Like you know, like on a day to day, you feel free whether you're getting paid or not. You know,
that's true.
I feel like when somebody tells you something like that, like if you were a big time, you know, TV star or you had a talk show, if somebody gave you that, you know, that frame of work, you would be like, you know what, to be honest with you, if I could be on Saturday Night Live and I receive all my royalties from everybody that comes, you know, like, and you make this whole elaborate plan and it sounds ridiculous, that's the person that you actually want to be. That's the person that makes you feel so pure and so free. That person, you know?
And speaking of like being pure and free, example, I actually have a friend who's probably free as a bird right now. He's working in, I guess, you know, corporate America, whatever, in whatever building he's working in New York. And he wants to be an actor. That's what he wants to do, right?
Right.
So he was going, you know, doing little, what you call them people? Doing background work, extra work. Okay. And, you know, doing like, you know, little, you know, hood films that be on YouTube, you know, doing stuff like that.
Sundance type vibes.
Word. So then he started getting more into it. So he started picking up little roles. Like, you watch The Shot?
The Shot?
The Shot.
The Shy?
Yeah. He's in The Shot.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I'm saying who he is. So he quit his job. He quit his 9 to 5, whatever. That's his soul money.
Taking faith.
And he said a few things was picking up. I can't keep going back from Atlanta to New York to here, back and forth. So something got to go. This is what I want to do. So he went and he quit his job. He pursued acting full time. Do you remember in The Shot episode 1, I believe, episode 1? Remember when the old lady got beat up?
Yeah.
You know the dude that beat up?
Yeah.
That's him.
That's him, man. No, see, now I gotta take a closer look, man.
That's him. He yes, I'm gonna interview him soon, but that's him. He quit his job, and you know, and he was also on you ever watch the show Black Lightning?
Absolutely.
He's on like episode 10, the first episode. He was holding a gun towards the dude.
To the dude, Lateef?
The one that can't die. You know the dude that can't die?
I think
he held the gun at him, and he said next time you hold the gun at me, it's going to be your last time, or something like that.
I remember they was in the club, right?
They was in the empty club. It was something. Club. But yeah, that's him. But either way.
That's crazy. I didn't know that.
He been Black Panther. He been in a few things. Like he just quit. He said, I'm just going to go forward. So I could definitely see him. Like, once you put 100% something, you put that motivation behind it. Like,
I feel like it's not, I'm not going to say I feel like it's not that hard. That's terrible to say that. I feel like it's just a completely different way of thinking. I feel like us as Americans, not even Americans, of course, but us as African Americans, we're so stuck into this capitalistic way of thinking. Thinking that you put this amount of work in, you get this paid. And we've been doing that for 2 weeks or every week since,
that's a fact.
Since you could have started.
That's a fact.
Nobody ever told you about back end. What's that? Like back end is when you make an initial investment, put that work in, and then all of the promoting everything that you do, you get something later on.
Right.
But that's crazy. I'd rather it now because we want things so fast. We don't think to do stuff like that, right? So you got somebody who potentially has a job making $50,000 or something like that a year, where your man doesn't have a job. He's banking it all. Let's say hypothetically, this guy goes hard for 3 straight years. He may save maybe $100,000. Where your man's was broke for 2 straight years, and then he booked a big role, and now that's $3-4 million.
That's a fact.
So that $3-4 million, it changes the course of everything that just happened prior. So now he's looking. I'm about to do this again. I need to do that again. Like,
it's crazy. Once you get $3 million, you could really your whole life could change. You can do a whole 360. So I really think that going for your dream may be the best route to go. Because like living a 9 to 5 life, not having your own time, it's ass. Right. I can't live that life forever.
And sometimes it's not always millions. Sometimes it's you having that space, right? Because there was this guy I met in Bloomfield. This guy I met. We was at Crown Fry. I remember it was me, my man Clarence and Juice. We had Crown Fried, late night, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just got out of ringside. And the homies, we stayed in Franklin.
Okay.
But the homies, they went back to the dorm, and I'm like waiting for my food. This guy pulls up with a Benz. And I've never been shy to talk to people. So I asked him, hey man, what do you do? Like, tell me who you are. Like, I want to know. We started getting into it. To make a long story short, he was telling me basically he had a job that was paying him, I think, about $200,000 a year. Took the job, moved into like a mini mansion, put his daughter into the private school, and changed the course of his life. Within a year and a half, they fired him. Gave him a little parachute plan, you know, take this and go ahead, dip. And
they fired him, they laid him off.
Well, I'm sorry, they laid him off.
Oh, okay.
But when you making money like that, man, what you want unemployment for? You know what I'm saying? It's like, I needed to do this. He was creating for them. That's hypothetically, if you're like, you know, into tech and coding, they basically hired him to do that. So his whole life changed. It went right back downhill. He had to take his daughter out of the school. He had to, I'm sorry, I don't think that happened yet. He had, at the time, he thought that he had to, definitely had to move out of the house.
Right.
And I was like, damn, like, I mean, what did that do for you, like your confidence? He was like, the problem wasn't that I was fired. The problem is that I took the job. Why would a job pay me $200,000 to do something for them? You got to know that the person at the top of that is banking way too much.
You're getting crumbs.
You getting crumbs,
but
$200,000 in crumbs. So he's like, damn, they paying me $250,000 to write code or to do, I guess, some type of tech design or something. Mm-hmm. So that's when he started to put it together. I need to be able to create my own, because I may not be making $200,000, or I may make $200,000, but let's say if I land on $120,000, can't nobody move me, you know? So sometimes it's not about being rich and greatness and all of this other stuff. Sometimes I feel like when you chase your dreams, it's really about being in a space of freedom. Like, you know, we live where we live, and granted, I make more than a certain amount of person, and maybe somebody who has a job doing the same thing I do may make a little bit more than me, but that person can be fired, a natural disaster.
They can change your whole life.
Yeah, everything could happen just with the say-so of one person.
So do you feel free when you design your clothes?
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely. I feel clear. I feel like that's the one thing that I can do and not be paid for. That's literally the one thing that I can do. I absolutely love it, because like I said, when I'm telling these stories, to get back on what we was talking about, when I tell these stories, it takes time for me to be able to tell this story, because I want to deliver it to you in a way that makes you feel good. It makes you feel like, oh damn, I really like that piece. I like the quote that's on the back of that. I like how you put, damn, it looks like a perfect size. And then you see something else, like, damn, my girl would like that. Then you see something for a baby, damn, you know. So being able to tell a story, and basically through product placement, being able to tell a story and make people feel lighter. You know what I'm saying? So I want to do that for everything. Like, you know, I got socks, pants, vests, I got a whole bunch of stuff, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just going to keep continuing. And these are just things I'm trying. Now, certain things that I really like, I'll get inventory of, but you want to surround yourself with the idea of, because I feel like at this point in our life, we should really be doing all of our investment for the future. So when you think about it, you're investing and giving all of your money now, or all of your time now, to another person. Yeah, it's in you, but it's a later you.
Right.
That later
you're setting yourself up.
You're setting yourself up for the future. Mm-hmm. So that's why, like, on a lot of my pictures, you'll see brainwash yourself. A lot of times people will be on Instagram, just looking, you know, looking at whatever. Mm-hmm. But I feel like once you decide who you want to be, and your values is tacked into it, and you really feel great about it, you should just brainwash yourself with the idea of who you are. Even if you gotta fake it till you make it, that's you may do your thing, you know. Mm-hmm. But I feel like there was a part in the Nipsey Hussle song, R.I.P. Nip. There's a part of Nipsey Hussle song. He was like, "You can feed it what you want, because that's your kill." That's you can, whoever you think that you want to be in that person. You may want to do the short gains, right? You know, but that's the map that you're setting out for yourself later on. You know what I'm saying? But for me, it's like, no, I want to play the long game.
It's a marathon.
So I'm gonna give a lot of free things out. I'm gonna go to LA and give a lot of stuff to a lot of celebrities. I'm gonna hold events. I'm going to make a lot of product, just product placement, because, like I said, surrounding myself with the idea of this is who you are.
And then when you like consume so much of yourself and so much of the things you want to do, it becomes an addiction. It's just like, and especially when you start to see like progress, it's like,
exactly.
Oh, shit. Like, it's like when somebody in the gym, like they lifting like 10s this week.
Mm-hmm.
Now it goes like 2 weeks later they at 40. It's like shit, like I can do like 90 now. Like,
you feel me?
So
but let's say hypothetically, before you hit 90, your goal was to be a bodybuilder.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? You fed yourself everything that you wanted to be.
Exactly.
So when you start to increase, then your life starts to change as you hit 90. Now you're doing curls with 200 pounds. You damn near a bodybuilder. So what you really did was transformed yourself in exactly who you wanted to be, without going through the process like how some people do it. Like I said, we all go through things, but that has to be what stays in the back of your mind. Like, this is what's gonna get me out. This is what
I think about that all the time. Anytime I do something or I plan on doing something, like I feel like this what can change my lifestyle right now, or change what I'm trying to do right now.
Right. And when you change yours, you can change other people's. Because like you said, you're going to hire somebody from your family. I don't trust nobody with my money but my girl and my stepmother and my sister. You know what I'm saying? I don't trust nobody with no money. You know what I'm saying?
I trust my best friend with money before
you trust your best friend with your bread?
Before anyone in the world, I would trust my best friend.
Right.
That's crazy. I knew him since I was like 13. I'll give him all my money. I know nothing will be out.
I'm not knocking that, but think about it. Like, see, you only trust him with your money. So when it comes to accounting and payroll, you only gonna hire him. Now you're changing the course of his life and his family's life.
Exactly.
You feel me? So you just gave, and now I could change your life. And so once you change yours, you now put everybody around you in a position to now change their family's life. Exactly. Now you literally have, what I said earlier, a community of people.
It can be a domino effect too. I help you, help somebody. It can keep going. That's what we need to start doing.
Right.
Let's get back into fashion. I do have a question. How do you feel about fashion right now? Especially like fashion designers. I feel like in the 90s or maybe the 80s it was a little different. It wasn't that many. Now it's something everyone's trying to do.
Right.
And there's a lot of different outlets for us now. So how do you feel about, creating content and really pushing forth a brand? You think it's harder now than it was in the early 90s? Let's say from the 90s or 80s. Do you think it's harder from the 80s and 90s era than it is now?
Do I think it's harder? No. I think it's easier now.
Okay.
Because now the floodgates are open because of the internet. Now people are starting to see what's going on is that we're basically in a little bit of a gold rush, because you and your 2-3 mans may all be making a certain amount of money, and it's like back 20 years ago they wasn't making money like this. So it's important for you to kind of get in it, get in when you fit in. But the great thing about the times now with the internet and opening the floodgates is that bigger companies are starting to fall because a lot of people are starting to connect straight to consumer.
Word, you're starting to create their own, and when you, especially just like what Kevin Hart said a few years ago, he said, "I don't really need a marketing team." He said, "I'm my own market." And I said that to myself earlier on Monday. I was driving to work, and I was like, "Brother, you're your own market. You can't, sweat people, not posting you or not doing certain things. Like, you your own market. You have your own."
At the end of the day, it's business.
People. Exactly.
At the end of the day, I feel like that energy is business. I don't ever trip when people don't post something. I've made stuff for people when they didn't post it. Right. I wasn't tripping because it's a growing pattern. For me, this decision was already made, and it's not going to be decided on this one opportunity. You feel me? So it's like, that's cool. I'm really walking through it. For me, it's kind of like a walk up the street. You're going to see people. You're going to slip and fall. You may get water splashed up on you. Your mans may hit you and be like, "Yo, come through. We got these girls in the crib. Don't stop walking up the street real quick." You know what I'm saying? Right. So all of these things are going to happen, and you're just trying to get up the street. So that's how I look at it. I feel like that type of stuff happens, and it's important to move past it regardless. Yeah.
So when the next time you dropping some pieces?
In the fall, I'm dropping something. I want to drop something. Not dropping something. The entire project that I'm working on right now is my resort collection. Like I said, it's going to hold various pieces, over 10 pieces, and different, different things, you know, and then I'm also going to be giving free things away. I'm having events in September and November, but I want to drop the brand in October, the end of October, around my birthday time. But that's the next time I'll be dropping some stuff. Like I said, what I've been promoting is really just to get the name out there and to see how people are gravitating towards it. And once I start getting, you know, more people telling me like, hey, I want it, and even people, you know, bigger names saying that I want it, and sending it and watching them wear it, it started to change. But that's the thing, is that I'm feeding into the person that I want to be. The person that I want to be is nonstop busy. It's nonstop hustling, nonstop creating, and wanting to put on this emotion of creativity and freedom. Like, I want to put on events that like captivate people. Like, oh man, I can't wait to go to that next Soleil event. You know,
that should sound good though.
You feel me?
That Soleil event.
You feel me? So yeah, that's the way that it's going. With that, in the meantime, I'm thinking about putting something out in the summer. You know, to kind of like keep people at bay, like just to keep it pushing. But like I said,
a little EP out there.
Yeah, drop a little EP.
You know, a little 3 tracks for you.
That's how I feel. That's how I feel when it comes to the brand. I never feel comfortable. I don't really feel comfortable dropping one piece. I want to make a body of work to show people like, here, this is for you. To show value, to show that I care, and you know, like, because that's how I feel. Like, I want to live in that type of space where people come out, they show love, they show support, they smile, they laugh, they get into their element, they cry, whatever they want to do. And when they leave, I don't even have to be paid. You feel me? Like, I want to be in that space of living your truth. And like I said, brainwash yourself. So whatever it is that you want to be and do, just surround your life with it now, because eventually, no matter how you do a podcast, you do interviews. So as you build and you get more people to come and more people start to see it, you put your own money aside, you want to get a bigger space. Now more people coming.
Exactly.
Now you're getting looked at on YouTube ridiculously. So now you got big time networks coming to you saying that they want to do a deal with you. Where before it was just an idea. But the more that you feed into it, it's just going to change your life. And I feel like it's just, at that point, it's just about not stopping.
Right, you know. Anything else you want to say to everybody?
Don't quit. Watch out for that new Soleil drop. It's coming in the fall. I will let you guys know for sure when, but you're going to love it. Like I said, various pieces. I really want to apply and appeal to everyone, even your children. I want them to think, like, when they see it, like, oh, silly, I like silly, you know, so whatever, like, whatever they feel with it. But I want my brand to be more of an emotion and unity, and finding that unity through people truly being and saying and doing who they are and what they feel, you know. And I love you all.
I appreciate you coming, bro. You dropped a lot of gems.
Yeah, man.
You put people on some game. I hope this motivated people as well, and I'm pretty sure it will. So
absolutely appreciate you, King. Thanks, man.
All right, man. Yep. Peace be out.